Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here today looking at Animals on Board, a design by Ralph Zerlinda and Wolfgang Sentker, published by Egert Spiele and Pegasus Spiele in Europe, released in the US by Stronghold Games. This is a design for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, that plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. And as you might be able to tell from the cover, we are back with the story of Noah and the Ark. You are not Noah, though. This is not your Ark. You're building your own Ark, and you're going to have complications due to this guy. How does the game work? Here are all the components and Animals on Board. You have a whole mess of animal tiles. You have 4 cardboard arcs, okay, which you must assemble before your first play, but then you just put them back in the box and pull them out when you are ready to play the game. To set up for the game, you will take 3 tiles at random, look at those tiles, choose one of them to go on your arc, and put the other 2 face down in the center of the table. So each person does this, so you have some idea of what's going to be there. The animals come in 12 types, and they are valued 1 to 5 in each type. If you play with 2 players, you use only 8. If you have 3 players, you use only 10. With 4 players, you use all 12. So you look at this, you keep one of those, you put the rest in the pool, you then turn all these face up. You can group like animals together. And then you fill the pool until there are 12 face-up animals. Again, 8 with 2, 10 with 3, but roughly the same. Each player starts with 1 food. Now on a turn, you only have 2 options. Fairly straightforward. You can take a group of animals and put them on your arc. But to do so, you must pay 1 food for each animal in the group. You do not have 13 food, so you cannot take this group. So you must do the second action, which is to split 1 group into 2 groups. And you can split them however you want. So I can do half and half, or pull out this pair. You can rearrange them how you want. The face down one with this. All right, let's just say I pull out this ape for some reason. After you split, you then take a food, and that is how you get more food. Okay, this player can pay 1 food to take this ape and load it on the arc, or split. And if you split, they get a food. All right. When you take something, you pay the food, put the animal up there, take your flag, and place it on your arc to show that you are out for the round. The first player to pass gets the first player marker, and they will start the next round. And you're going to continue taking action, splitting or getting groups, until all but 1 person has picked up a group. If you pick up the face down tile, then you get to see what it is, but no one else does. A little bit of hidden information. When you have only 1 person left in the round, then they again either split to take food or take a group. And why would you not want to take a group? Well, then you get to stockpile food for later rounds. You'll keep out whatever animals are already face up or face down. You then fill the pool again so it has the right number of tiles. And you start with this first player here. They have no food from what they spent last round, so of course they must split. And you're going to split, somehow get food. And you'll continue taking turns and continue the rounds until 1 player has acquired 10 or more animals. If you have more than 10 on your arc, then you would just lay the extras face up in front of you. You complete the round so that everyone will have the same amount of turns, roughly, depending on how people are actually taking actions during the game. And then you are going to assess your holdings. All right. Hopefully, we're going to have good choices here based on this completely random selection of animals. Okay. So, if you have animals here, let's say these are the animals in front of you. Well, what you do first, well, you have to get rid of any pairs that you have because Noah has a contract for those. Oh, thankfully I've got 3 pandas and 3 foxes, and all the others are singletons. If I had this pair of turtles, for example, well, Noah gets them instead of me, contracts, right? So I have to throw those away. All the other animals score points for me. Each single animal scores whatever the face value is. All right, it's 5, 4, 2, 2, 2. Wow, clearly you want high values when you're going to end up with single animals. All the other animals, which are herds of 3 or more, are worth 5 points per tile. Doesn't matter what the number is. All right. Good. Very valuable. Each food that you have left is worth 1 point, and whoever has the most points wins. And that's it for Animals on Board, which I've played 7 times now on a review copy from Pegasus Spiele with all player counts 2, 3, and 4. And as you might expect from a game with a split and choose mechanism, the gameplay changes a lot depending on the player count. If you have only one opponent, well, you're going to be watching that person. You see everything they pick up, except for that face down tile. Add a little bit of mystery here, which is very important. But you know how much food they have. You know what choices they have available to them based on how much food they have and based on what you do, how you split up these groups. And of course, that's going to bounce back to you as they take their turns. And once they take something, they are out for the round. There's only one person left. You get one more action, and then you got to fill up the board again. So of course, you have to watch for that. What is going to be left to you if they do actually choose something? Do you have the food available to take what you want? So there's a lot of food hoarding, or at least you try to do that in order to hamstring the opponent and force them to be unable to make good splits, right? So that you can take whatever you want. That's the idea anyway. But you cannot store too much food. If you have 5 food and you would do a split, you don't get a 6th food, you have to put a food back, right? So you can only bounce back and forth between 4 and 5 food at the most. You are, of course, there's incentives to spend that food and take those groups to get those opportunities when they arise. Right? If there's a pair out there and you've already got one in your arc, you want that pair. Do not mess around with trying to do other things, because that pair will probably not be paired for long if they know you have that third matching animal. Once you add in a third player or a fourth player, of course, you have many more people splitting before you get back to your turn. You have much less control over how things are going to get split up. So you got to play a little more loosely. You watch more what other people are doing. Try to, keep everyone honest here. Watch her. She's getting hippos. He's getting giraffes. All right. We got to, you split this and I'll split this. And you can, try to lead people around that way if you want. Right. Or you just play quietly and hope to pick up stuff and people don't really notice what you're doing. That doesn't happen often, but it can happen. So one little concern possibly with the graphics, well, the animal tiles sometimes look very similar. Just they have helpful icons at the top here, but tigers and foxes still look somewhat the same, and the giraffes and camels and the rhinos and elephants, they all look a little bit similar in the graphics here and the graphics here. And it's somewhat helpful in that the images of the animals get bigger as they go from 1 to 5. It tells a little story. That's a lot of extra expense for artwork for something you did not need at all, but they did it anyway. Some people do not like that because they want to look and say, there's the elephant, there's the elephant. I always know what the elephant looks like. No, instead you got 5 elephants. A little more confusion for them. So, rundown of animals on board. Now you get to make your choice.